Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Umber Rays here to talk a little bit about A Tale of Two Gacha games. Yes, for the last week now, well, it's basically been a week since Dragalia Lost came out. This game that I have been playing a lot on my smartphone and not so much on stream yet, mainly because I'm just having problems getting that game completely, perfectly set up. A lot of different ways to try and improve it. So far, haven't quite got it working perfectly yet. As it turns out, when you're a Google user, things are not so easy. There is Mirrorcast, but not apparently every device supports Mirrorcast. Thanks for that, Google. Or manufacturers who make Android phones. Life would be so much easier if it just worked. Ironically, Apple might have been the better solution. But anyway, for the last week, I have been playing both Brave Exvius as well as Dragalia Lost, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about both of them and what my experience has been and why some of the videos that I'm coming out with may be entirely positive towards Dragalia Lost, or mostly positive, I should say, while mostly negative towards Brave Exvius. At least that's the kind of the way I felt recently. I haven't done enough videos that are just positive, but I'm thinking about changing that in the future, as well as some of the videos about gummy or gumi or gummy, as some people pronounce it, I have heard. So let's get right into it. So for the last week, I have been playing both of these games at the same time, and probably more time has been spent easily in Dragalia Lost over FFBE, and honestly, I think it's a little bit interesting to look at both games. One game is brand new. One game has been available for 3 years now. Yeah, Brave Exvius is in its, going on its 4th year running. And that is kind of impressive for a gacha game, because these games take, there's a lot of competition out there, especially here in Japan. If you look at Fate Grand Order, that's probably the king of gacha games right now. I see a lot of people playing that. I see people playing the Konami super deformed baseball game on the trains here. And, maybe that's a little bit of a commentary for new JP Vlog, which I am looking very much forward to doing more of those in the future, but let's focus on this right now. But considering that both of these things are having really major events, one where the game is just starting, the other where the game is hitting its 3rd anniversary, both of these games exist in a very exciting time right now. But for all of my love of both of these games, and yes, I actually do have a lot of love for both of these games, otherwise I would not be playing them. I would not be spending money on either of them. There is 2 very different experiences here, and this is kind of the thing that happens in gacha games, it feels like. You have games that have been going on for a while, that you know exactly how they work now, and then you have games like this, which are brand new and exciting. And that really, over the last week, has kind of made me think about how I view both of these games, right? Obviously, last week when I did my 880 ticket pulls and was getting, some rainbows from the EX tickets, that was very fun for me. That was exciting. That was interesting. That was, looking at everything I got, both the disappointment and the highs and the lows of that was incredible. But shortly after, it has fallen completely off for me. And it's a couple of reasons for that. One, I've been playing this game for, 2.5 years. I haven't been playing it since day one on the JP side, especially not this account. This account is actually one that came later. Short story is that I did have another JP account that was older, but my phone died and I didn't make a transfer code, and that was the end of it. Long story short, kids, make a transfer code. Just do it. Just do it. If you don't do it, you're going to be fucking sad like I am, or was. And so I created this account. But Brave Exvius has been going on for a long time, and now so late in the game, there isn't really too much in the way of surprises or in the way of excitement outside of when a brand new event comes. take a look at, for instance, new banners. Clicked into the wrong place, but that's not much of a problem. The new banners here are, oh good, my dehumidifier is full. Awesome. Take new banners. When new banners show up with new characters, that is a spike of excitement. And let me tell you right now, that excitement is a big deal for me. Or when I got my 300 anniversary ticket, or 800 anniversary tickets, an insane amount of anniversary tickets. When there's a chance that I can max out a, just a UOC, there are points of really big excitement that are super fun for me in Brave Exvius when the events start. But after that, it really becomes kind of just, back to the grind. Like, Mog Kings, Arena, our raid, our story event, our story update have all felt pretty, regular for the last long amount of time. For the longest time on the JP side, we've had a very, very rigid structure of just having Mog King, story event, raid. In that pattern for, over a year. And that kind of makes the entire game experience pretty mundane. We don't get much variation on the Japanese side, and therefore it is a pretty regular thing. Now, in some aspects, that's good. I mean, you know what to expect, you know how to, what it will be and everything, and so that creates a very consistent, reliable experience. But it does make it so that the spikes are really, really high, and as a video content producer, I have to say that that also makes it kind of, bad. It's really hard to come up with video content that is in between news updates on Brave Exvius, whether it be the global side or the JP side. Both of them just aren't super interesting to talk about a lot of the times in the middle, even, with the possibility of some of the stuff you could do out there. Like, for instance, I've been thinking about for months about doing a, an Esper Talk build guide. I've been looking and planning into doing a start the Japanese side with, giving people basic Japanese lessons so that they can play the JP side more efficiently and more regularly, because honestly, I think that's incredibly interesting. For instance, I'd focus on key kanji symbols like this. This is the symbol for fire. It's, pronounced ka, as in Kayobi, which means Tuesday. It is fire, like that kind of thing to basically help people who want to play JP, who want to play JP. But for the most part, Brave Exvius isn't super exciting most of the time. The most exciting parts we get are new banners and everything, new events, big emotional spikes, be they good or bad. They do contribute something to the game and make it just a little bit exciting. Like hitting rank 200. Hitting rank 179 isn't very special. Hitting rank 200, hey, big, nice round number. Now, contrast this with Dragalia Lost. Now, in the last week, I have gone from a rank 1 to a rank 52 now. My Xander, this character, this handsome, handsome prince, I've gotten him to level 80. I've gotten a ton of rainbows on that side, be they Worm Prince, be they characters, be they 5-star dragons with, not a huge amount of pulls for how bad the rates people say they are. And don't get me wrong, rates aren't great in any gacha game, but could be worse. So, when I'm looking at this, right now, everything in Dragalia Lost is exciting. It's new, there are a ton of, new things to do and everything like that. And Dragalia Lost is a very different system, which is something I've kind of been looking for. I didn't want the exact same game. When people are like, why don't you play global? Why don't you play the global version? Well, one, Facebook needs to burn in a fire, a very, very hot fire, let's say the sun. And when that's gone, I'll look over the ashes and decide if I want to do it. But the problem is that then I'm really focusing a lot of my time on the exact same experience or that's not entirely fair, but a close to the same experience. Basically what I'm talking about is the same combat system, the same story, and a lot of the same events, and that is not very interesting. Dragalia Lost, on the other hand, has an entirely different combat system. It has new and different mechanics, such as the dragons, equipping dragons, not just equipping weapons, which kind of like summons, but more like equipable limit bursts, if you want to put it in Brave Exvius sort of way. And also Wormprints, which, offer different benefits to characters. I have to say that when I am thinking about making content for both of these games, right now Dragalia Lost is just kind of more exciting because there is more things going on. Everything is new and exciting, and this is one of the challenges that people who play games for a long period of time, you kind of have to figure out what is it you like about this game and whatnot. For Brave Exvius, it is very much a kind of just big spiky moments. Those big moments when it is exciting. And that does make it so that you're a little bit, unhappy about it. But Dragalia Lost has been, a fresh new experience for me, and one that I am absolutely enjoying if you are curious. It is a different game. It has its ups and downs. I would like to start, recording a series about actually starting the game, because so far I've given some tips and tricks, but not an actual guide to starting the game. And considering that most of, there are a lot of countries that don't have this game available yet, I think a guide is still potentially not necessarily a bad idea. But Dragalia Lost is very much exciting for me right now, and both frustrating because I can't get it working. But for the last week, I have put more time into Dragalia Lost because there is that sense of building something new before, we get back into that kind of mundane feeling where it's like, well, I played Dragalia Lost, I know how the events work, I know how the raids events work, but there are a lot of different mechanics in Dragalia Lost that are keeping it feeling very, very fresh and very, very challenging, from, stuff in combat to outside of combat. And the first week of Dragalia Lost has been, it has had a fair amount of problems. I have experienced probably anywhere from 50 to 150 disconnects. Like, I just don't count. But all of that being said, it really hasn't, the problems that have been in Dragalia Lost don't feel that bad right now. They feel pretty okay because the game is just so new and exciting for me. Where, taking Brave Exvius, things that have felt bad lately have felt really bad, because honestly, when you don't have that spike to keep you happy, it can feel pretty bad when something comes along to kick you while you're down. So yes, Dragalia Lost and Brave Exvius are both two games that I am absolutely enjoying right now for different reasons, and they are different experiences. I very much enjoy making content for both of them, although honestly, if Dragalia Lost would just work on my PC, that would be wonderful. Then again, it's a brand new game, and emulators aren't quite ready for it when it launched, so there you go. Also, Nintendo, Cygames, come on. Just release the AND app version, at least in Japan, please. But don't worry, I'll try and fix that over the coming little bit, and I'll still be making content and video guides for Dragalia Lost, just not so much in the way of strategy and whatnot. But all of that being said, I really, really do still love Brave Exvius. For people who are thinking that, I'm just going to jump ship and leave, no, I've made that perfectly clear. I'm not going to. I'll probably stick with this game until it dies. How much money I spend on the game is completely dependent on what is put out. And honestly, when it comes to that, really, come on, Alum. Put out a Final Fantasy IX, 6, 13-2, 10-2, Final Fantasy VIII. All of these need events sooner rather than later. Because I'm missing those spikes of excitement. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. See you then.